putting Tasmania leading the world, Australia leading the world, and putting the globe on a sustainable footing, there is absolutely no doubt that we need to make deep and immediate cuts to our greenhouse gas emissions. And one of the best ways we can do that is to protect our natural environment and then restore already degraded natural environment. So it's critical as far as government policy to have any kind of credibility in terms of tackling climate change. We need to immediately protect forests and native vegetation and then begin to restore degraded native natural vegetation areas. The reason you're all wearing green collars is because that signifies the amount of massive employment opportunities in doing both those things. Employment opportunities the massive employment opportunities in measuring the carbon stored in natural vegetation and forests, and we need to properly understand just how big a store our forests are here in Tasmania. They are some of the most carbon dense forests in the world. Then there are green collar jobs in actually managing those forests to keep them living and to actually maintain those carbon stores. And then another step that we need to do, not only do we have to stop greenhouse gas emissions, but we need to suck the greenhouse gas emissions, the carbon dioxide that's in the atmosphere, we need to suck that out. And one of the best, we can talk about carbon capture and storage, we can talk about all sorts of technological measures, but there's no doubt the best measure is the tree. So we need to also start to restore degraded systems, restore degraded ecosystems, and that means restoring catchments, and it's going to have the spin-off benefits of biodiversity benefits, reclaiming and restoring our water sources and so forth. So green collar jobs represent a massive investment in the future of not only Tasmania, Australia, but the globe.
Yeah, I'm Peter Boyer. I write a column in the Mercury about climate change, and I've been thinking about this for many years actually. It seems to me, I agree with everything that Vicar just said, but it seems to me the biggest problem of all is to do with our minds, is how far we're prepared to go to shake off what is clearly not working, how far we're prepared to go to reinvent ourselves. It's a little bit uncomfortable doing this. It can be, but it's in the end, it's not only is it the only way to save the human species. I don't like to talk about saving the planet because the planet's fine. The planet will survive. It's the human species that might be in, and not to mention lots of other species that might be in trouble. And it seems to me we have to shake off this mindset that says the only way forward is growth, because the only way forward is not growth. In fact, growth is the absolute opposite of the way forward. That is, in terms of the old economic paradigm, I like to think it's an old paradigm. I like to think we're growing out of that. And it seems to me that whatever the premiers and the Prime Minister are going to be talking about today, it's got to involve a preparedness to change mindsets, because unless we all do that, and most particularly our political leaders, we'll get nowhere with this battle. Thank you.
Well, we're here today worrying about the future. We've got climate change, we've got economic crises, we've got all sorts of things happening on the planet. Every day I work with the future. I work in a school. The kids are much more aware than the average adult walking around down the street. They are tuned into the problem, but they don't necessarily know what the solutions are. And I'm going to give some kudos to the Rudd government here through their National Solar Schools program, which is a bit of a misnomer. It should have been National Sustainable Schools program. We've given every school in the country $50,000 to undertake sustainability initiatives in their school. Now that $50,000 can be for photovoltaics, can be for water tanks, solar hot water, insulation, double glazing, a fantastic array of options. And the kids are recognizing that when they're actually immersed in technologies and mindsets around finding solutions to the problem, then they get creative. They look for the hope for their future. I used to refer to them a few years ago as the carbon neutral generation. Now they have to be the carbon negative generation. We can no longer be carbon neutral. We are in the mindset where we have to go carbon negative, and the students are starting to understand that. They need to be shown what that means, and then they can come up with creative things, because in 10 years time, 15 years time, when they're buying homes, they're not going to be afraid of these new technologies that are out there, and they're going to start teaching us oldies how to change what we've always done, because they're the ones that are the most adaptable right now. So it's critical that we focus on schools and education as much as anything else.
Margaret Stedman from Sustainable Living Tasmania. We are, I reckon, amongst the most fortunate people on the planet. I mean, look around. We have amongst the most fertile soil, the most benign climate, most of our energy is renewable, and we have more opportunities for a sustainable future than almost anyone. If we can't do it, who can? And I think that we absolutely need to lead not just the nation but the planet really on this and make a commitment to do it. Tasmania could do the fully renewable energy by 2020, and that's one of the mantras that's been promoted by climate campaigners across the planet. We could actually do that with really intensive energy conservation and new renewable energy installations. So I just feel so fortunate to have the Tasmanian sun on my back. Yes. And I'm really glad that there are lots of us who are into the green collar, and there's lots of opportunity in Tasmania and we should seize it.
I guess at a simple level, the reason why we're here today is because there's a Council of Australian Governments meeting going on inside. So the leaders of each of our state and territory governments and our Prime Minister, and one of the big things that they're spending a lot of the day talking about is the economic crisis, the global financial crisis, and how to deal with it. And certainly it's the biggest financial crisis that the world has seen since the Great Depression. But the unfortunate reality is it will be dwarfed by the, I guess, twin challenges that are facing the planet over the next decades in terms of the climate crisis and peak oil and other critical problems like population and water sustainability. And I guess at a simple level, the message that I'd like to put to all of the leaders in the building today is that irrespective of how you decide to fund your stimulus packages, whether irrespective of the debates about the levels of debt you go into and so forth, that every aspect of those stimulus packages need to be targeted at preparing this country in the best way possible for the challenges that we face ahead. So in transforming our energy sector and in investing in transforming our renewable energy sector, our public transport sector, protecting our natural ecosystem, saving the Murray-Darling. If you're serious about the future of the country, that is where we need to be spending the money, and that's where the long-term future of this country is completely tied up in. So that's my message.
Thanks to everyone. We've sent out a media release remarking about the Australia's green collar future, and it's a Tasmanian gift hamper for the PM in a green collar push. So this has gone throughout Australia with all our media links that we can obtain. So we're out there offering the opportunity to embrace a sustainable future, and we're here with COAG trying to encourage them to listen. So continue on our good way, all of us, and I look forward to the next opportunity to meet everyone. And it's lovely to have so many friends and like-minded people.
And thank you to Marion.
Thank you.